take the tour on Sint Maarten. Many times we go to a new place and we just kind of wonder about. But for the most part, when I visit some place I haven't been to before, I like to do the initial tour. It gives you a great layout of the island or the destination that you're at. And then once you can locate different parts of it that you like, you can go back and revisit on your own. This is the beautiful beach outside of our hotel before we started the tour. On one of the outer buildings of the hotel is a huge iguana. Oh my gosh, he's on top of the roof, just sunning away. Look at that long tail. See if we can't get in closer. That's about as far as we're gonna get. He's on top of that building there. Isn't that wild? Oh, that is so funny. Good catch, Lloyd. Wasn't that wild? While we were sitting there waiting for the bus to pick us up at the hotel, Lloyd spotted that huge iguana. I was able to zoom in on him quite a bit. But isn't that great? I mean, I loved it. So this is the bus that we were on, and if you can't really tell, there is not much room between those two rows of seats. That's Lloyd and I there in the back. That was a mistake to sit in the back. There was a bunch of mosquitoes back there, and they were eating me alive. Bugs always find me. So I ended up moving further up in the bus, and they opened windows a little bit to let some of those pesky little guys, get out of the bus. But this is just traveling on the bus. It was pretty amazing. The views almost from every place we went to was just incredible. We started out on the Dutch side.
Bonia, Sint Eustatius, and Saba, guys. But we all can step out, so you guys can still see the background where we just came from. That is called the Sint Bay area, guys. Where if you guys would like to, you guys can also take a photo or two, and then we'll be on our way to the international port, guys, where we're gonna get some few more guests, and then we're gonna officially
There's a whole bunch of them right behind us.
So we're gonna like a photo.
Oh, that's funny. We didn't bring nothing for him. He's talking to us. I hear you.
No, we're fine. We have all day.
Okay.
Calling to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Look at them all. That's funny. Wasn't that funny how there were chickens right there alongside the road? Oh, it was kind of crazy. But I thought it was cute. I didn't want you to feed them though, but that was really neat to see them. I just had to laugh. Crazy, weird things you find on a tour that crack you up, right? Oh my goodness.
Oh, we got Harry.
I gotta hurry. But isn't that a beautiful view? You're fine. You're fine. Very good. So this is a statue of William Henry Bell II, also known as Willie. He's one of the founders of the island. But what a commanding view he has here. It was just spectacular. tour buses stop here often. There are a lot of statues all over St. Maarten, both on the Dutch and the French side. It's quite interesting to read about them. So feel free, if you wanted to read about it, you could stop the video at any point in time and read some of the plaques. But it's about time to get back on the bus, and away we go.
Our famous zip liner. Also, the second highest point on the entire island, guys, which is 1,257 feet high, guys. That is our second highest point. The first is over on the French side. I will be pointing it out when we reach over there, guys, which is called Peak Paradise, Peak Paradise. That is our first highest point, which is 1,391 feet high, guys. Yes, indeed, today is a little breezy. And then coming on up to the sharp left, we have the Dutch Fire Department and also ambulance headquarters, guys. And that is right here to the sharp left. And also we are seeing the massive construction site. That will be our new Dutch hospital, everyone. That will be the new Dutch hospital. To the far more in left, that's our current hospital, which is quite smaller than this one that they're building. But this will be the new updated Dutch hospital, guys. And then also to the left of us, we have one of the more upscale residential areas, which is called Bel Air. Leaving Little Bay Resort, also where our Dutch fort is located, which is Fort Amsterdam, everyone. That is coming out up to the right of us. Our Dutch fort, Fort Amsterdam. And then we are overlooking the beautiful Caribbean Sea, guys, the beautiful Caribbean Sea. And we will be heading on to the right, where you're seeing the wonderful cruise ship. Now, everyone actually gets dropped off of the taxi shuttles from the cruise port. And then you can either choose left and right, do some shopping, some sightseeing, enjoy the capital. And starting from this point, left, right, guys, jewelry stores, and more jewelry stores, folks. The Dutch side of the island, most of our clothing stores, guys. We tend to have a following of the American lifestyle on the Dutch side of the island, guys. We do not really follow the Netherlands. We rather follow more America lifestyle, guys, when it comes to the clothing, the vehicles, even some of the music we listen to, rather than if it's not Caribbean music, it's all American, guys. On the French side of the island, we still tend to follow France, same as Martinique, Guadeloupe, and St. Bart's. Then we have some more souvenir stores in between as we're getting lower down. Once again,
So one of the stops that we did take was in the Amsterdam cheese and liquor store. This was a really cool place, and I don't drink a whole lot, so I'm sure some of these different kinds of liquor and alcohol bottles will probably be found in some of your local stores. But just in case it wasn't, I don't know, these just kind of cracked me up. And these were a lot more flavors of Baileys than I've ever seen. I see like 2 or 3 of them here in the States, but man, it was crazy. But I'm always fascinated with the names, the different names, not only the bottles that we see here, as well as some of the shops we passed. I thought that was funny with the alien head. And there's that Crystal Head vodka, a nod to Danny Aykroyd. Just some of the names, like, oh my gosh, really? Even one shaped like a bullet or an fire extinguisher. I'm like, okay. At least that's what it looked like. Or maybe it's just a big fire starter. So we did get to have a little bit tasting of cheese. They gave us a little sample of cheese while we were in there. And it was a chance that you could buy stuff. This is a statue of one of the freedom fighters, you know, for against slavery, things like that. There's a lot of that, it looks like, on the island. Some of the nicer homes that you can pass by. But that is not the norm. And then we started to enter into the French side of Sint Maarten. And they say this side is more rural, but there are, you know, resorts and stuff, as you can see here. I zoomed in on this one that was out there in the distance. It's just beautiful. I don't know which one this was. I was thinking that one might be a nice one to stay at. One tip though is to not take this tour on a Sunday. As you saw, we passed all those shops and all of them were closed because they close on Sundays. So if you're going to take this, I would recommend doing it either during the week or on Saturday and avoid Sunday. I want to say that they probably stop at some of those shops to let you get off and wonder about, you know, when they're open. That would have been nice, except by the end of this tour we were kind of tired about getting on and off the bus and trying to pass through those little narrow aisleways between the seats. It was like, ugh, again. So I'm not going to show you everything that's on the tour, just a lot of beautiful pictures. And I certainly didn't record everything that the tour guide had to say. He was full of a lot of great information, a really, really nice guy. They did have some water or some guavaberry rum punch on the bus that you could have too, which was really nice. This island is where the rich kind of go to.
Everyone is allowed. It's just an expensive place to be, guys. And then to the right, we have the famous Moses Walk. As you can see, some of the folk, they're on the rock, they're relaxing, taking some photos. And the name we got Moses Walk is because, guys, right here, this walk path, the water actually tends to separate all Mother Nature, and that is when the tide gets very low, guys. It actually separates. So that's how we got the nickname, the Moses Walk. And also, this beach right here, guys, this is the lovely Coralita. Coralita, everyone. This is the Coralita Beach, which is also the lowest tide beach on the island. Out of our 37 beaches, this is one of them where a few people tend to visit on a daily day, guys, and enjoy the Moses Walk. If you look carefully, you can see the waves, and the Moses Walk comes from each different angle, from left and right, and that's why when the tide gets very low, it separates, guys, and everyone tends to walk, enjoy themselves. So right here is also a lookout point, guys, where you guys can take some beautiful photos for the lovely memories. And then we'll be on our way to the largest beach on the island, which is called the Orient Bay Beach, everyone.
Doesn't that make you want to just walk right out there like those people have? It looks so nice. Look, they even had goats on the other side of the road. kind of crazy to see so many of them. Now this is St. Maarten in March, the end of March, and it was really, really lovely. It was very humid though, during the day especially. And I know I looked silly with that big floppy hat, but I was glad I had it. I actually didn't have any sunburn. I did have some sunblock on, but the hat really helped a lot. But the tour gave us a really nice overview of what the island holds, and you can certainly go and visit on your own. We did have a rental car, but unfortunately we didn't have a lot of time to truly explore everything on our own. Parasailing was really cool. But this is definitely a place I wouldn't mind going back to, especially if we had that gorgeous room that I've already done a review for. That would have been amazing. This was another funny stop that they made along the road, and you could get out if you wanted to. But I couldn't tell what in the heck was she feeding at first. And I come to find out it was a whole bunch of iguanas. It was crazy. They were huge. It was neat to watch them though, and you could be that close to them. Look at them, aren't they crazy? Beautiful, beautiful. Look how big he is. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness. It was neat. A lot of interesting animals here on St. Maarten. Different colors. It was just, it was amazing.
You can have it in a shake.
See that big one there?
Yeah, to the right.
He's big.
He's an oldie.
He's a little bit shy too.
But there's a bigger one right to the tree.
Oh. Can't see him.
The big one.
So that's one of our main iguana attraction guys on the island. We are once again housing in this area. It's about 240 of them. Starting from right where the small blue vehicle is located to back to the pond show. It's on 240 of them guys. And actually the lady that actually takes care of them, she's not here today but as a good friend. And she also gives them fresh water on a daily guys. They do not drink the pond water.
So again, with the funny names of some of the different stores. But doesn't that look so tranquil, so peaceful? And yeah, there's a nude beach. Now we could have went there surely, but the bus did stop there, and that's a restaurant that we ended up going to. I'll show you guys here in a minute. But the Nude beach, they warned you. They said you could go there, but just know that you might see things that you don't want to see. And after seeing the clothing side of the beach, we were like, yeah, okay, no, we're not going to venture over there. That's okay. Some of it was bad enough with it closed, much less without. It was bad. But the water was amazing, and it was warm. We strolled along the shore. Some of the stops were like an hour and a half, which was really nice. But yeah, we went back to the Pirate Hideout at Orient Beach. It's a beach bar and restaurant. Ooh, it was amazing. I knew I wanted to go there, even didn't look too well when we first stopped. But I ended up getting Captain's Booty. Arr! But it was not good. It tasted kind of funky. But we ended up getting a burger. It was pretty good. They had a lot of different choices here on the menu. I wish we had longer. We took most of our time at this particular stop walking on the beach, more so than eating. So we were able to get in here. There wasn't that many people in there at all, which was great. So there wasn't a lineup, so we managed to grab something to eat before we had to hop back on the bus. But it has that, typical piratey beach bar kind of feel. It was awesome. And then there's the view. Not his butt. But straight out from our window, yeah, there's some kind of fancy yacht or ship out there. And would you call it a yacht? I guess that would be a yacht. It was fancy. But just docked right out there so they could take their little boat, their little dinghy, and go on shore. That was just really cool. But that is the Pirate's Booty. It was, yeah, it was kind of funky. I would have been better off just having the Coke or the soda. But that was the burger. It was pretty good. It doesn't look too good there. It looks kind of dry, but it wasn't bad. And that little red squiggly swirl, that's a guavaberry flavor thing, and it was really good. Fries were good, of course. But yeah, back on the bus we went, and it was a lot of interesting people on this bus too, I have to say. When you go on tours, you can meet some really cool people. When we had stopped at the area, they talked about the cruise ship. Some people got on to the tour right there. We picked up more people. That was interesting. A lot of different resorts, Bikini Beach. People walk around bikinis and bathing suits. But seeing that made me want to go, I would love to come back here, especially on a cruise ship, and stop there at that one spot we didn't get to stop at. This lady is their Lady Liberty. She's one of the many statues I talked about. She stands for the freedom. A lot of it, they put up statues for the people who fought against the slavery. Beautiful ships and boats, though. I was amazed at how many. I was like, wow. I mean, you knew there would be some. It's an island, but still, it was just a bunch. It's definitely a slower pace here. This area here we stopped at was really beautiful harbor. I love the marinas. And there's another one of those cool looking fancy yachts. Sailboats. Now I saw a nice French patisserie, and so I had to stop, and I got 2 slices of coconut cake, and I think it was a praline cream puff. It looked really amazing. I got 2 so that Lloyd could have one when he came back, because I stayed here because my feet are not the best and I'm out of shape. But he decided to go ahead and venture up to the fort. So those are the steps that you start on to go up the hill all the way to the top to go to the fort. And it's Fort Lewis, and that is a great view. And along the way, the stones and the steps fade away, and then it's mostly a dirt path. He said you have to kind of be careful. But that is the fort. So it's like, okay, that's a goal for me. Is to get in better shape, and I'll hike up this with him. But what a commanding view that is. Oh my gosh. You can see how this would be an ideal location for a fort. Is he king of the mountain? So if you take your time and make the climb, you'll be rewarded with such a spectacular view. Ah, well, maybe next time, eh? It was very, very lovely. So I sat and ate my share of the pastries and waited for Lloyd to come back down. He kind of took a wrong turn and kind of came back down in a different spot. But I wasn't hard to find. That little patisserie was right there on the corner. I think we had a longer time for a stop here too on the tour, which was nice. It was enough where he could run up there. So as we got back on, they were showing some of the flags that fly here on the island. So now we're returning back to the Dutch side. And it's very much like the driver was saying, is that they follow a lot of the American things. I thought it was funny they had a Vegas thing here. And like I said, there's a bunch of casinos. But we went into this Distillery gift shop, restaurant and bar, and they had a nice little rum tasting for us. Oh my goodness. Now they had these barrels set up with all these different, little cups full of different kinds of rum, and we thought we'd just go over and you can just take it, and oh no, those ladies fussed at us. No, wait. Because they had a full presentation for us. It was so nice. So we tasted a lot of different rums. They were very, very good. And they even had gelato there, which was really hot that day, and I was grateful. And it was my first time having gelato ever. Can you imagine that? But yeah, it was really, really good. I thought that was funny, the Kraken Raw Bar. Such great play on words. Happy Ending, another one. It's just funny. But no, that was a really good stop. It would have been nice if we could have sat somewhere and had, like a meal. And I know we did, but I mean as a tour group, that would have been really cool. But they just kind of left you on your own, and that was fine too. A lot of those different ships there you could go. There's another Pelican. It's a big statue on the roundabout as you were driving by. But there are a lot of those different ships that we saw. Those you can actually charter and go on little excursions. And sometimes you see little vendors there selling things along the beach. But this particular one is a special one. A special beach that he stopped at.
And the day before that, and the day before that. Yes, indeed, that's winner, guys. No way. So yes, indeed, if you want some beautiful photos and video, guys, this is the location to stand. And if you want the exact timing of the next available flight,
And then while people were getting blasted by sand from the planes going by, we went to the bikini bar and we decided to get a drink. And they had lots of things to eat there too. I wish we had a little bit more time here to grab something to eat. Something more than what we did. But I made a mistake and got the guavaberry colada. That was really, really funky. Don't do it. And then everywhere we went, I kept seeing this bird. And he was just chattering away to us. It was funny. But that beach is where everybody goes to believe it or not, purposely go to get blasted by the jets going by, the planes going by. And you get blasted by the exhaust and everything. And they fly a lot lower than that plane was, because the airport is right there. And they'll stand there, and you can even get your stuff blown into the water, and it's just crazy. But people actually do that. You can see how close the planes are. And I tried to capture it as we were leaving the island out my window, and you could see the people standing there waiting for it. And the planes will come in too from the ocean side, from the water, and they'll land there. And usually it's around 1 p.m., 1 to 3 p.m. that they do that. But St. Maarten was a really, really nice little weekend excursion. You almost wish you could stay here for, I would say at least 7 to 10 days to really relax, let your troubles and worries just fade away. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful island in the Caribbean. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video of the tour. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more. Till then, thanks guys.